mainstream politics, getting into mainstream other areas is very, very crucial and important. It's a representation of where we come from, but also a representation of who we are elected by, whether it's city of Artesia, whether it's state of California, or any other constituency. But it's critically important that we are the ambassadors, just like Deputy Council General said, we are the ambassadors of where we come from, where we are the ambassadors. We represent where it is, whether it's politics, whether it is engineering, whether it is being a physician, whether it's being any other first line, services, whether it's army or anywhere. So I do encourage my other members to encourage, especially our youth. And that's where I feel comfortable helping our youth, especially bring them in other services, like being just even foreign service for United States of America. I think it's critically, that's an area that is, I always promote that we should get into that. That's a good representation, very good representation, besides, of course, politics, besides, of course, law enforcement and so on and so forth. So want to thank you. I think that the relationship between any country or US can be built by having those representations. And that is the message that I would drive home, whether it's being in foreign service, whether it's being in just, in politics or anything else. So that represents and that builds a grassroots level kind of a relationship. That's what we're looking for always. So with that, thank you again for having me. Truly appreciate it. And I humbly apologize I was late. We have an event going on right now in our city of Artesia. We have a ribbon cutting opening for a Nepalese community, first Nepalese community grocery store in Artesia. So I'm part of it. So I do apologize I was late, but I wanted to attend this. This is a very important topic and I'm going to go back with that. All the very best and God bless all of you and God bless our great country, United States of America.
Thank you, Ali Sajjad. You always supported and we are there for you to support to become again mayor and assembly member or congressman. As you're going to be soon president of the mayors of Los Angeles, that's going to be a big thing. Then we're going to be roll a big dinner in the honor of all the mayors, inshallah, with your collaboration. Thank you very much for your participation. Now I'd like to invite a very important person, and I've seen growing, his name is Dr. Majid साहब बहुत ही ब्राइट डॉक्टर हैं और डॉक्टर मजीद के साहबजादे हैं ये और अपना के चैप्टर के एलए की ये प्रेसिडेंट हैं बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है ये कुछ हाईलाइट देंगे और बताएंगे कि व्हाट गोइंग ऑन इन अमेरिकन सोसाइटी बीइंग अ हेल्थ केयर पर्सन डॉक्टर अजहर मजीद साहब
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you everyone for having us. Thank you, Vakar Saab. Appreciate the comments from the Council General and the esteemed colleagues, Jamal Khwaja and others before. Thank you for having me. As a second generation Pakistani American, I think it's very important for those of us, born or raised here, what we can contribute. Obviously, we love America. This is our country, but we have ties back home. Many of us still have family members. And from our perspective, from a healthcare perspective, we're always talking about, the equality of healthcare and getting people that access. I've had the privilege in the past to be the past president of the local chapter of the American Association of Pakistani Physicians from Southern California. I've had wonderful opportunity to meet the various council generals and Pakistani American civic organization leaders and participants like Vakar Saab. And again, I think one of the things that Ali Sajjad had just mentioned, let's not forget those second and third generation Pakistani Americans born and raised here. I think we can be an asset to you. I think, like Jamal Khwaja says and talks about trade and business, there are a lot of my friends in the IT industry, entrepreneurs and so forth. But more importantly, I think we can't forget that, almost today in 2022, 35% of the American physician workforce are international medical graduates. Of the 35%, almost 5% in a recent American College physician poll are Pakistani Americans. That's an impressive number. That's an impressive number of people who are out there, and they're not in the big cities. They're in various communities, small and large throughout. Again, Vakar Saab, thank you so much for having us and putting on these great programs. I appreciate it to you and Ms. Sobi Ali and all the organizers. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your great input to the Park US Summit. As you know that I have a one person is an icon of our community. He is with me almost 35 years with him, thick and thin. And I've seen his progress, his community contribution, his contribution in technology, his contribution giving business to Pakistan, his contribution to all the NGOs, and is none other than my dear friend, Dr. Sana Khan, is the chairman CEO of the Expert MRI. And Dr. Sana Khan, you are welcome.
Thanks, Gabe. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Really, I mean, I think I'm not sure what more to add in the sense that you guys really you're hitting on the main points. I was taking notes. You know, as Jamal Bhai is talking about trade. Asim Bhai, you know, you really hit on several important points. You know, and in terms of U.S.-Pakistan relationship and the equality and how it should be a balanced relationship. And you know, balanced relationships doesn't necessarily mean the same thing. That you have to be doing the same things. It just means that relationship should be balanced and should be with respect towards each other. And it's kind of like, you know, even in our deen, right? The men and women are equal, but of different roles. So balance and equality doesn't necessarily mean that we're doing the same thing. You know, as Azhar was pointing out, you know, I've pretty much, you know, I've grown up here as well, right? So, but I was born in Pakistan. So unlike Azhar, I'm actually not, you know, first generation Pakistani from that perspective. But at the same time, you know, I've lived in Pakistan for about 3 years of my life. Yet there is definitely that connection that Azhar was alluding to, right? There's family there, and there still are a lot going on back there. To Jamal Bhai's point, I think that trade is very important. From a personal perspective, I've been in Pakistan for about 15 years in terms of a business where all of my, I have about 300 employees in Pakistan doing my collections for my medical business, billing collections, some other aspects of our business. So what I found, what I learned was that, mashallah, such smart kids, very, very smart. I shouldn't say kids, but because I'm older now, because because I'm just, you know, just that level, I guess, at this point. But it's that they're very, very smart. The issue in Pakistan is that they really need a platform. They can do anything. Alhamdulillah. I'm telling you guys, I've experienced it. I know you guys, I'm preaching to the choir here, but these young people in Pakistan can do anything. They just need to be given the platform, right? So what I also learned is that I had software development done in Pakistan. And mind you, unfortunately, you know, they don't have the most recent learning platform. So they have great capacity mentally, intellectually, but they don't have the tools that are cutting edge tools. I don't know if you guys are following or not, but right now, currently, there are so many cyber attacks that are coming onto Pakistan, primarily and unfortunately from our neighbor. And I don't understand why India still, you know, takes us as such enemies, but I'm not into that politics. It doesn't really matter in the sense that that's how they are and that's what they feel, at least the current government. And Pakistan needs to defend itself. When Russia attacked Ukraine, they didn't go with tanks first. They didn't go with an army. They didn't fly airplanes. And they actually cyber attacked the infrastructure of Ukraine and disabled their infrastructure. And Pakistan is just as vulnerable. And this is something that we need to really address. And the way I'm going about it, and again, we can talk and talk and talk, but we really need to get into practicality of how to do these things, right? So trade-wise, sure, I can give 200 jobs there, 300 jobs there. But the old adage of saying that you can either give somebody fish or teach them how to fish. Because if you teach them how to fish, they will continue for the rest of their lives being able to take care of themselves and family. So for me, the number one, at this point in time, for me, the number one focus is education in Pakistan. And of course, with Waqar Bhai's help and Fatima Bhabi's help, we're actually bringing some really interesting education programs in terms of certifications and stuff. But August 22nd of this year, which is next month, we will be, and the main person I want to give credit to is Syed Dijaz Rizvi, who was the dean of the junior college here of my kids. So with California Coast Colleges, we are introducing the first ever program in Pakistan. It's a US degree program completely for our kids while they're sitting in Pakistan. So they will do their first 2 years there through the junior college system in California. If they get a 3.37 GPA, they'll have automatic, they'll have transfer guarantees into University of California. So we will be able to give them 2 years there, and we'll be able to complete their 2 years also there for the second 2 years and get them a full bachelor's degree. But idea is to also pick the brightest kids and bring them here and have them actually get educated in the University of California system here. So what's going to happen with this, inshallah, is that these kids are going to be learning on the latest platform. To get a license for Python for $10 million is nothing for the University of California. But to try to get a license every year for Pakistani universities is just really difficult for them to do. If we want to get our kids educated, we can't teach them on 4-year-old cybersecurity software. It's already been hacked. You can't teach them data analytics of 4 years ago. That's already been bypassed, right? So to solve it, we need to get education into our kids. This is where America is so amazing. It really is. I mean, we are the cutting edge education in the world. But right now, if Pakistan and our young people, if they don't get on to the robotics platform, they don't get on the train of AI, we don't get on the train of cybersecurity, we don't get into data analytics, we don't understand blockchain technology, we're going to get left behind. And if we don't get on this train right now, either you have a choice right now for the next 30 years, either we get onto the first world country track or we get on a third world country track. Where robotics is today, it is in nascent stages. It is where we had computers in the 1980s. But once that train takes off, it's not going to stop. And as that train is starting right now, if our kids in Pakistan don't get onto the robotics AI technology platform, and we can say whatever we want, oh no, hamare paas hai Pakistan mein, just the truth of the matter is we don't have it there. We don't have institutions, educational institutions there that can teach our kids the latest in what needs to be taught. So if there's one thing that we need to focus on for the next generation, of course, inshallah, do the trade, get money, dollars flowing into Pakistan, absolutely. Get US politicians, get American, Pakistani politicians into American politics, absolutely. Bring them medical care and health care, absolutely. But what we can't do it all from here. We have to prepare the young people in Pakistan to be servicing in Pakistan. But it's got to be on the latest things. It cannot be on old technology. We cannot compete with when India is getting $60 to $100 billion a year in software development, and we get $2 billion a year, right? And again, I don't want to do this India-Pakistan thing. Sorry if I but it's a good comparison, because our kids and their kids, we're pretty equal in terms of our genetics and our intellect and everything else, our culture and all that. We should not be this far behind. So I know I'm sorry, well, I get really passionate about this, but this is very, very critical for Pakistan. We have to do this right now. We got to get our.
But we have to have a strong relation, soft relation, good relation with the United States of America. So we have a maximum quota of the visas and J1 visas, everything. If we don't have a strong relation with the United States of America, there's a lot of issues, So this is also very important that we, in this summit, we have to focus on how to make our relation stronger, better, and softener.
Well, by the way, they are willing to do it. I'm telling you, this is, I mean, this was the great thing about America, right? I mean, look, we're working with the chancellors of the University of California, right? We're working with the governor of California. I mean, California is the sixth largest economy in the world. Okay, we have now sister states of Punjab and California. Inshallah, hopefully that gets signed.
Inshallah.
That some political issues happened, but they're willing, they're open-armed. America is, look, I mean, if we, look, the biggest threat, and I think Asim Bhai will tell you this, for the US is not Pakistan. It's right now the biggest threat in the world for the US is China. Okay, or I don't want to say threat, let's just say competitors. Okay, and the US wants to have a strong relationship with Pakistan. I'm telling you this. It's just that we have to do it the right way. And if we do it through education, it benefits all parties, all sides. And we have to look to benefit America. I mean, we're here, we're Americans. I mean, Azhar is absolutely right. We're Americans. At least, you know, our generation certainly is. But we can create this bridge. We can really help all parties involved. So anyway, you know, I know it took a lot of time. It's just
Good.
It's just critical for us to do. Anyway, Mughal, I'll let you.
Thank you very much. You know that this project, the Santiago Canyon College, you are the one who initiated, and I also participated, and we traveled to the Pakistan for this. And I hope that inshallah it will become soon on the thing. And we already started the American certificate courses for Pakistani people in a very reasonable price. And that's another relationship between USA and Pakistan. Now, I would like to really invite our very bright former president of the Pakistan American Chamber of Commerce and chairman of the Pakistan Grand Alliance, Zubair Rao, which is involved with the technology, is exclusively with the Apple computers. Almost my relationship with him 37 years in this state, and he wants that Pakistan should build some facilities to produce Apple computer, Apple phone, iPhones, like other countries doing it. Why not? Mr. Zubair Rao, you are on board.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Waqar Bhai and Sobia, to have this kind of event. This is very helpful and it's a great effort. In early 80s, when I came to US, I finished my education and involved initially with working with the Apple computer and learned a lot about Apple. Today, I'm involved with the Apple selling solutions and their services. My vision for the Apple side is when I see that Apple is, especially nowadays, Apple is moving their manufacturing from China to different countries. And we should involve Apple to start using Pakistani children to assemble Apple product like phones and those things. Apple is involved rebuilding or refurbishing phone in different countries, but we should be able to do it in Pakistan. How? I'm working for quite some time, and whenever I see that time is right and something happen in Pakistan side, and then I stop. But anyway, we hope everything will be good. Other thing is in this country, we always get like equal opportunities. Whatever we put in, we work hard, and we get in return in this country. So I'm proud to be here, and my kids all grown up, and they are all brought up here. And my vision, another thing is we should work with Pakistani companies to how to import their product. What we can do for Pakistan, not whatever Pakistan have done is a lot for us anyway. We should buy Pakistani product. We should start involving our kids in the local politics, teach them what are the advantages to be in the local politics, and try to think about investing in Pakistan. So these are the few things. I don't want to take too much time. And again, thank you so much, Waqar Bhai and Sobia, to having me here. Thank you.
So I have a friend all the way from Korea. He's the bureau chief of the OpTv Global. Is in Korea. Korea is nowadays much in the news. Sharik said, how do you feel the Pak-US relationship.
तो शुक्रिया सबसे पहले वकार साहब आपका कि आपने मुझे इतनी अच्छी डिस्कस में शामिल किया और जब भी आपका पाक और अमेरिका के हवाले से डिस्कस होता है आप साउथ कोरिया को याद रखें। सो ये समझ लीजिए जो कुछ अमेरिका में होता है साउथ कोरिया बाहैसियत एक नेशन कोरियंस यहाँ तो कुछ अरसे पहले साउथ कोरिया को अमेरिका की स्टेट ही का दर्जा हासिल था। यहाँ पे यूएस आर्मी है, इनका वर्क है, बहुत बड़ी कम्युनिटी है अमेरिकन की और पाकिस्तानियों की भी है। 13,000 अराउंड रहते हैं साउथ कोरिया में। लेकिन जो आपने अभी 7.5 लाख बताएं ख्वाजा साहब ने, ये बहुत अच्छी हमारे लिए तो इन्फॉर्मेशन है कि पाकिस्तान कम्युनिटी और अर्ली 70s से वहां पे मौजूद है। और खास तौर पे फख्र की बात यह है कि ज्यादातर लोग एजुकेशन से जुड़े हुए हैं। जो बिगिनिंग में पाकिस्तान से जो एक क्लास गई थी स्टूडेंट्स की 70s में, जब ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट पाकिस्तान था, उन्होंने जाके अपनी एजुकेशन पूरी की और अमेरिका में कह लीजिए अपने आप को सिर्फ डेवलप नहीं किया बल्कि कंट्री का नाम किया। बड़े अच्छे बिजनेस में आए, ट्रेड में आए, एजुकेशन में आए, वहां से डिग्रियां ली, पीएचडी कंप्लीट की, उसके बाद प्रोफेसर हैं और डिफरेंट वेल जो आप सब दोस्तों ने बताया। तो हमारी खास तौर पे साउथ कोरिया में रहते हुए मेरी ओपीटीवी के ब्यूरो चीफ की हैसियत से मेरी कोशिश होगी पाकिस्तान और अमेरिका के जो रिलेशन है, जो खास तौर पे ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशन आपकी कर रही है, मैं उसको बेहतर से बेहतर यहाँ पे पेश करूं साउथ कोरिया में रहते हुए। और सिर्फ साउथ कोरिया में नहीं, जहां भी ओवरसीज में मेरा ट्रैवल होता है वहां पे मैं खास तौर पे आपके प्रोग्राम्स बताऊं। और ये बड़ी खुशी की बात है कि जनाब आप डे बाय डे आप इसको डेवलप कर रहे हैं और ऐसे लोगों को मुतारिफ करा रहे हैं जो हमने नहीं सुने थे कि इनका इतना बड़ा टेक्सास के अंदर और दूसरी कैलिफोर्निया के अंदर इतना बड़ा हाथ है वो पाकिस्तान कम्युनिटी को उठाने में, और उनकी एक पहचान है इस स्टेट्स में ही नहीं बल्कि आप कह लें पॉलिटिकली पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से कांग्रेस मेंबर्स हैं, पार्लियामेंटियर हैं वहां पर। तो उनके साथ जब हम देखते हैं तो हमें बड़ा खुशी और फख्र महसूस होता है। अप्रिशिएट करते हैं हम लोग कि जनाब आपका इतना अच्छा काम है। तो इंशाअल्लाह अजीज हम तो यही दुआ करेंगे कि आप जिस तरह पाकिस्तान कम्युनिटी को डेवलप कर रहे हैं और अमेरिका के लिए मतलब लोगों को बता रहे हैं, जो आज मनफी प्रोपेगेंडा होता है अमेरिका के खिलाफ कि देखिए जी अमेरिका हर मामले के अंदर पाकिस्तान की सपोर्ट करता है और बगैर अमेरिका के पाकिस्तान का चलना भी दुश्वार है। और आज के रिलेशन नहीं है, यू नो वेल, आपने पहले ही बता दिया है, लियाकत अली खान के वक्त से ये सिलसिला शुरू है। तो आई होप इंशाअल्लाह अजीज पाकिस्तान के लिए काम करेंगे आप अमेरिका में रहते हुए, और इंशाअल्लाह अजीज अमेरिका में रहकर पाकिस्तान का और अमेरिका का रिलेशन मजबूत करेंगे। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Sharik Sisab, all the way from Korea. Now we have a last person, the very important person of our community involved with the Homeland Security, with the Defense, the Sheriff Department, Mr. Asad Qadi Saab. After Asad Qadi, we're going to start questions, answer. Mr. Asim Shah Saab, you stay with us. So we have a few questions people want to ask you, inshallah, and then we'll end our project. Janab Asad Qadi Saab, Assalamu alaikum.
वालेकुम अस्सलाम रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातहू। सबसे पहले तो मैं आप लोगों को मुबारकबाद देता हूं कि आप लोगों का एक फिक्र है और आप इस पे काम कर रहे हैं। मैं बड़ी खुली बात करने का आदी हूं। आप लोग माशाल्लाह इतना काम कर रहे हैं पाकिस्तान के लिए कि मैं समझता हूं कि एक और पॉइंट आपके सामने लाना चाहिए, और वो है हमारी पहचान पाकिस्तान से है। और अमेरिका के अंदर जैसे अभी भाई जावेद साहब ने बोला कि रहते हुए हम रिलेशनशिप बनाएं, तो मैं उसमें ज्यादा इंटरेस्टेड इसलिए हूं कि मैंने पाकिस्तान के साथ 80s में काम किया और मैं ये प्रोजेक्ट लेके गया कि पाकिस्तान में बच्चा वहां का हाई स्कूल करे और उसको यहाँ के कैलिफोर्निया हाई स्कूल का दर्जा मिल जाए। लेकिन इस तरह के और भी प्रोजेक्ट्स चूंकि दिल में मोहब्बत है पाकिस्तान की, वो कामयाब किस वजह से नहीं हो सके मैं उस पर बात नहीं करता। मैं आप लोगों को फिक्र इस बात की तरफ दिलाना चाहता हूं कि ग्रैंड लाइंस के अंडर अल्लाह ने हमें एक प्लेटफॉर्म दिया है जिसमें हम बहुत ज्यादा काम कम्युनिटी के लिए कर सकते हैं। 9/11 के बाद कम्युनिटी ने मिल के लॉ इन्फोर्समेंट, कांग्रेसमैन सबसे काम किया और एक लफ्ज जो डिक्शनरी में था होमलैंड के अंडर टेररिस्ट का, उसको वहां से निकलवा दिया गया और आज आपको ये लफ्ज कहीं नजर नहीं आता। ये रिलेशनशिप के सॉलिड होने की मिसाल है। हमारी जो लीडरशिप है इसके बैनर को आप लोग, मेरी रिक्वेस्ट है, मजबूत करें। और यहाँ पे जो बच्चे हैं जो कि इस वक्त हमारी जबान नहीं बोल रहे, हमारा लिबास नहीं पहन रहे, हमारा जो तहजीब और तमद्दन है उसको इस्तेमाल नहीं कर रहे या उस पर प्राउड नहीं है। और मैं इस वक्त बेकर्सफील्ड जा रहा हूँ इसलिए कि वहाँ के लोगों ने इनवाइट किया है। जैसे शहर में हमें मुख्तलिफ लोग, आज पाकिस्तान के प्रोग्राम जो है वो किस तरह से होगा, क्यों होगा, तो यहाँ के बारे में ज्यादा गौर व फिक्र इसलिए करना है। आखिरी मिसाल देता हूँ, फिर मैं अपनी बात खत्म करता हूँ। मैं अक्सर ये फिक्र उजागर करता हूँ कि जिस तरह दीन को जिंदा रखने के लिए दीनदार की हिफाजत जरूरी है। आप देखें कि उंदलस के अंदर मुसलमानों ने 1000 साल हुकूमत की, लेकिन उन्होंने मुसलमान की हिफाजत नहीं की, तो आज वहां कोई नाम लेने वाला भी नहीं है। जब हम अपने कल्चर को, अपनी तहजीब को और अपने आप को खो देंगे तो अमेरिका के अंदर 2-3 जनरेशन के बाद पाकिस्तानी की पहचान कम होती जाएगी। हमें जरूरत है इस बात की कि हम अपनी आने वाली नस्लों की हिफाजत यहाँ पे करें, और उस सिलसिले में मुख्तलिफ जो तंजीमें हैं वो काम कर रही हैं, उसमें हमारे कई ओहदेदार शामिल हैं, उनका भी हाथ दें। और इंशाल्लाह पाकिस्तान में जब अच्छे किस्म के लोग आ जाएंगे तो अल्लाह की तरफ से जब फैसला हो जाएगा कि इस कौम की हालत को चेंज करना है तो फिर उसको कोई रोक नहीं सकेगा। लेकिन जब तक ये फैसला नहीं होता, और मैं तो लकीर का फकीर बैकवर्ड सा आदमी हूँ, मैं इसी पे भरोसा रखता हूँ। मेरी आपसे रिक्वेस्ट है कि आप भी इस वक्त जो हमारा नेक्स्ट प्रोग्राम है उसमें जितने अपने साथी हैं उनको इनवाइट करें, खुद भी आए, हमारा बाजू बने। और लास्ट थिंग ये है कि अभी FBI की एक मीटिंग थी जिसमें जमाल भाई और मैं गए थे, और हमने वहां पे जो सीखा, और हमने देखा कि 525 सिनेगॉग जो कि शहर में है उनकी हिफाजत के लिए किस तरह मशीनरी काम कर रही है, लेकिन हमारी सफों में तंजीम नहीं है। हर आदमी अपनी अपनी जगह पे काम कर रहा है। मैं जमाल भाई से, वकार भाई से ये रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा, समीन भाई से, कि वो अपना फिक्र इस पे मरकूज करें। ये हमारे लीडर हैं, हम इनके पीछे हैं, और कौम को एक प्लेटफॉर्म पे लेके आए। जज़ाकल्लाह खैर। अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
Thank you very much, sir. Now I'm opening the platform. If anybody has any questions with Mr. Asim Shiraz, you are open to.
सर मैं एक सवाल पूछ सकता हूँ आसिम साहब से?
बिल्कुल।
Asim bhai, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much for participating in this program. As usual, I'm not trying to patronize you, but you're a very smart diplomat. So the question I have, I'm going to repeat myself, that $3.4 trillion economy of California, and then fifth growing IT industry in California. What is government of Pakistan doing? If I am wrong, please correct me. We do not have a trade commissioner here, and we have this up and down going battle where the trade is concerned for last several years. People come, they don't come for a very long time. So I don't know how Pakistan is capitalizing on this view that this is one of the biggest economy. I want to tell you again, I've just checked the states of it, that it is the 5th largest economy. Yeah. What are we doing? I mean, you don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to put a point on you, but you guys are doing excellent work. Yeah. We as community, we do not have any complaints regarding visa, passports, anything. But this is one side where I feel we need to do something about it, and we need to at least give you this. Why we are in Los Angeles? The IT hub is in Bay Area. Modi came to Bay Area, as Sana Bhai pointed very correctly, that we have to take examples from current situation. Modi came, went and hugged the CEO of Facebook. Why we do not have an office or some representation in San Francisco or any part of that area where IT hub is? And what are we doing for the trade, to increase the trade between Pakistan and America? Thank you, sir.
No, thank you for that question, Jamal. I absolutely agree with that sentiment of yours. It's absolutely correct and well placed, what you just pointed out. I want to assure you, first of all, that there's tremendous amount of awareness regarding this in government of Pakistan. So first of all, you rest assured there's tremendous amount of awareness regarding the opportunity that Silicon Valley represents, that California represents, and the United States represents in the government of Pakistan. We could not be, you could say, more aware of what this represents for us than anything else. The president of Pakistan, it goes to the extent, and I know you understand this happens in very few countries, that actually the president of Pakistan has a direct line of communication with a lot of these people who are the movers and shakers in Silicon Valley, and where, you know, Zoom meetings were being held at the level of the president, you know, with these people, where they were able to put their concerns and all the problems that their companies were having directly to the president. Now, I, frankly speaking, don't see any precedent of this in any other country. So that is the level of awareness where this is, and that's where we're operating. Yes, there are issues, and there are issues everywhere. You know, I always say to people that their government bureaucracy and government machinery exists in every state, in every country. We are not an exception to this. And many times it's less smooth than what a private enterprise would be. Now, I can speak only very frankly, and what I should ethically. I can speak for the foreign service that I'm part of, and I can tell you that the level of patriotism that we have and the sense of duty that we have always been very proud of this institution ever since I've joined it. I say that for a government institution, I mean, anything that operates, if you could say private enterprises like Google and Amazon operate at an efficiency level of 8 or a 9, that the foreign service of Pakistan operates at a level of a 7 or an 8, which is incredible for a government institution. I mean, you can call anybody, they'll pick their phone, they'll get down to it. We have people who are basically, almost if you compare the compensation structure in the foreign service back home especially, are practically working for free. And they leave their offices at 11 p.m. at night, sometimes after midnight, simply because they're so committed to this, the advancement of Pakistan. So we're dealing with commerce, we're dealing with other departments in Pakistan, we're sensitizing them regarding your question of why the presence in Silicon Valley. That process is still ongoing. A recommendation, very strong recommendation, went from my side for this, in which I wrote an entire letter, a very detailed letter to the government, recommending this to the highest level, why we should have a presence in Silicon Valley, how this can help us, how this can help Pakistan's economy. I have written almost 2 research papers on it. I don't discuss a lot of these things. Foreign service में हम सब कुछ लोगों से discuss नहीं करते. A lot of things, a lot of work goes behind the scenes. So when you see something like FATF, when you see something like else where Pakistan wins, there's tremendous amount of work which goes among hundreds of people, burning a lot of midnight oil to make that happen. We don't market it for obvious reasons, but it's ongoing. And a recommendation has gone from Los Angeles. A recommendation has gone from multiple times. We're in coordination with the various government departments. Why I need to have a presence in Silicon Valley, because I personally believe that'll be a game changer. We're also hopefully getting a commercial counselor in Los Angeles pretty soon. She's a batchmate of mine, very good friend. We're going to have 2 ladies in the consulate, and she's probably joining in the mid of August. So that is ongoing. Yes.
Zabardast, Asim Shah Sahab, very well said. Dr. Sahab, आपके लिए good news ये है, you maybe have a question with Mr. Asim Shiraz. As I met the president of the Bank of Punjab, and he's offering the loan to the medical or IT students from the Bank of Punjab. So that's a good news for your Santiago Canyon College. And if you have any question to Mr. Asim Shiraz for any subject about bilateral relation, economic cooperation, to the United States of America, you are open to us.
No, I mean, I think I have to be honest with you. Like, it's been an amazing experience, Asim. I completely concur with you. I mean, the amount of cooperation that we have received in Pakistan. You know, you hear stories of all kinds, right? Even my own parents were like, "Beta, zara careful, rehna, ho jata hai," you know. And I've been working on this project for the last 2 years, you know, in Pakistan with this college stuff. And I have to be honest with you, I've been amazed. I mean, yes, of course, there's always some hiccups and some this and that, but the open arms, you know, from all the ministries to the technocrats, and construction, because building a campus in Lahore is it's his own animal. Amazing experience. I mean, I've had a great experience for 15 plus years anyway in Karachi with all my collections people. But I agree with you. I mean, if we have the right attitude, and you don't go in and expecting perfection, but if we have niyat achhi ho and attitude acha ho, I think you find cooperation and people are appreciative. They appreciate what you do. But if you're practical, right? Agar hum pie in the sky leke jate hain na, then you just hum ye bana denge, hum wo kar denge, but you don't really have a practical plan. Then Asim bhai will tell you, right? I mean, you guys are also, you get frustrated with people that come in and photo ops, tasveer ke chalo, humko unko minister se milna hai. It's just nonsense. It's what's the practical? What can you do practically to help both Pakistan and the United States? And I think education is a key element where both sides love it. American universities love foreign student fees, and Pakistanis love the fact that if they don't have to come and pay for travel and housing and all that stuff, and they can pay the fees, albeit. And the government, in fact, has been very open-minded, not just open-minded, but helping. I think particularly when it comes to cybersecurity, there's a huge concern about cybersecurity in Pakistan. But we need to create a Pakistani army. I don't mean like guns and bullets, an army of students, of intellects who can protect the country. And I'm not talking just war. I'm talking banks and hospitals. मैं जब था अभी 2 महीने पहले, one of the hospital CEOs I met he said, we just got cyber attacked. All our systems were down, lines bahar ho gayi thi puri, bahar tak chali gayi thi patients ki. We didn't know who was coming for what. So this is real, and I think that I think that the government is very, very interested. And honestly, I think any government that'll be in Pakistan is going to look at this and say, yes, we need to do this for Pakistan. But we have to be practical, Waqar bhai. We have to be practical.
Thank you, Sanabhai. You're always there. I know that you are one of the active. The two people I know that since many, many years, you and Dr. Sohail Masood is a participant of this country, is city, longer time in anything. Now I'd like to invite my friend, Mr. Ashraf Lakhani, is a true example, success story of America. You have any question with Mr. Asim Shiraz?
Yes, just the only thing is really that you guys have the awareness and the procedures and policies in process. I'd really like to with all due respect, what is the timeline of implementation and execution to make it a reality someday soon, in 23, 24? I mean, I'm just trying to hold people who are really in the limelight and trying to work very hard. We really appreciate that, but there has to be some kind of end game in mind. The results are the most important thing. So when can we see the labor of your hard work into real transformation of Pakistan economy in terms of stability, in terms of budget and deficits? How can we make the poverty go away? Like Sana Saab said, education is really the key. I believe in education. I also believe in entrepreneurship. I like to really have a course started in entrepreneurship, in mentorship, internship, so our youngsters can not only flourish, but shine and be part of this whole global economic expansion, inshallah.
Right. No, thank you, Mr. Lakhani. And I have to say, I really appreciated I appreciate your life story. And when I said that we need entrepreneurs and we need success stories, what I really meant was we need more Lakhanis. we need more Lakhanis. We need more people who are there, who are like this, who make a difference and who are success story contributing to the United States and everybody else. Like regarding your question of when can we expect this, I solidly believe that process is already going on. We have made massive strides, massive improvements, not just in our social structure, our economic structure, our political structure, but we're evolving as a nation. I think the president of the Bank of Punjab said this yesterday, that Pakistanis are very self-critical people. That is correct, and sometimes unfairly so. I believe that sometimes unfairly so. Sometimes हमारे लोगों की जो expectations होती हैं वो ये एक generalized किस्म का idea है that everything here, has a problem. Everything outside is absolutely fantastic. And I can honestly tell you that's not the case. हमारे यहाँ पे, I'll give you an example. For example, हमारे यहाँ पे, we have the official time to, let's suppose you process something, and the community was having a lot of problem regarding visas and passports and stuff like that. And what we did was that we'll give 7 days to process this. That's the official time. In 7 days, we'll process the visas and passports, any consular thing you have. And then, but the actual return time, if all the documents are complete, is 3 days, which is incredible by any standards. And so the entire process is online. But we still get requests of someone like saying that, I was about to board the flight and I forgot my NICOP at the last moment, or I forgot my passport at the last moment. And we say that, well, requests like that don't go to the State Department. They don't go to any other American institution, because you don't imagine that they'll make that concession, but we expect that concession from our own institutions. But regarding that process, it's an ongoing process and it's still evolving, and we are progressing a lot. But in the last 10, 15 years, our social economic structure has evolved tremendously. There has been this sense of justice that people have had. The courts and the judicial system has taken a very active role. The media has taken a very active role. The civil society has taken a very active role in a way which is more impressive than a lot of, first world countries, a lot of developed countries. It is more impressive than a lot of those countries. For example, I mean, if you watch any mainstream Pakistani television show, you'll think that it's not beyond the pale to make little cartoon characters or caricatures of the president and prime minister, and people are openly making fun of it, something which you're not able to do in a lot of countries. And I would like to end with this, which is a very important point, which is that Pakistan's a very young country. You also have to imagine that Pakistan's a very young country. We're basically just 2 generations old. It's a 70, 75-year-old country. So all of these nations that we aspire towards, or we think that we should immediately get there, had 250, 500 years, sometimes 1,000 years or 1,100 years to get to that point of social awareness. Persia, Iran, which is right next to us, is 5,000 years old as a civilization. So, we are not perfect. We still have a lot of work to do, but the level of awareness that your people have had and the way your political system is evolving and becoming better and in improved form it couldn't have been faster. We're very proud of it. And hopefully in the next few years, in the next 3 years or 4 years, you speak of a timeline like a true businessman. As a diplomat, I'll never commit to that. But in the next 3 or 4 years, you should definitely see the results of this labor.
Jazakallah. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, all the folks, your participation, आपकी शिरकत बाइस सद इफ्तिखार, and it is the first program to bilateral economic cooperation and the Pak-US summit, because whatever the waves coming from our country, we see that we hate America. No, this not. We are very friendly with America and will remain friendly with the United States of America. And we have a good relation with a lot of congressmen, senators, and think tank, alhamdulillah. And our diplomat is very active, doing a lot of connection as our ambassador, Janab Masood Saab, meeting every day, one of the senator, congressmen, and IMF. So things going on a smooth route, and we need Pak-US relationship because we need more student from Pakistan, we need more doctor from Pakistan, we need more electrical engineer or engineers from Pakistan. That's the only way going to be happen. Then we have a good relationship. Then we have a easy thing on the obtaining the visas and everything. Definitely, America never stop anybody to rise above the ordinary in America. For example, Dr. Sana Khan is one of the top businessman, being a doctor, neurophysicist, and radiologist. Dr. Soy Masood is running almost a $1 billion company. He's from LA, and he grew up here, grown up here in business. So the America never stop anybody, okay? So this is we have to be, our policy and our ideas and our speeches, our statement should be carefully crafted. What we talking, and talking for whom, okay? So now I'd like to give the podium to our bright Subia. You close this chapter.
So can I ask one quick question?
Sure. It costs you money.
Azim, can I ask you this? Is PIS still flying out of New York to Pakistan?
Well, that's what my colleague in New York can tell you, because he specializes in that, and I never say anything without research, so I'm not aware.
Not yet.
To make a comment on it. But you know, I have to say before we wrap up, I have to say it has been a pleasure interacting with all of you. I expected this to be a very boring, unexciting Saturday, you know, morning session or something like that. But thanks to all the panelists for making this a success. I especially appreciate the comments by Dr. Sana, Dr. Azhar, and you know, Mr. Ashraf Lakhani, and everybody else who made this possible. Because this is, I just want to say we are proud of all of you, and we hope that you can continue to work with us to take Pakistan forward and make all of this thing a success. So thank you so much.
Okay, Subia, thank everybody.
थैंक यू सो मच सर। मैं यहाँ पे बस इख्तिताम में मैं यही कहना चाहूँगी कि ओवरऑल बहुत हेल्दी डिस्कशन थी पाकिस्तान और यूएसए के ताल्लुकात के बारे में, फ्यूचर के बारे में। बट करंटली इस वक्त पाकिस्तान में नो कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन मूवमेंट के बाद जो पॉलिटिकल अनसर्टेनिटी और उसके बाद जो पाकिस्तान में सिचुएशन इस वक्त हो चुकी है, और इस वक्त आप लोग जो यूएस में बैठे हैं, जो ओवरसीज पाकिस्तानीज हैं, जो नो डाउट पाकिस्तान की मईशत का सरमाया है, बैकबोन है, बिल्कुल हर कड़े वक्त में साथ होते हैं। मैं चाहूंगी कि हम इस एपिसोड के बाद एक और डिस्कशन भी रखें जिसके अंदर हम एक पाकिस्तान के फ्यूचर के बारे में बात करें कि अमेरिका और पाकिस्तान के ताल्लुकात जो हैं वो सफारती ताल्लुकात जो हैं वो कैसे होंगे। बिकॉज पाकिस्तान और अमेरिका के बेहतर ताल्लुकात जो हैं वो पूरी दुनिया के लिए बाहमी इश्तराक के साथ एक बहुत एक इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज़ है जिसको हम निगलेक्ट नहीं कर सकते।
Very good, Subia Ali, and I have to tell you that now OpTv Global is on Raku. So we are global television network. It is the one and only voice of overseas Pakistanis, where all the media connected from all over the world. And that television I started to really serve the overseas Pakistani community, because we don't have a voice on our national television. If you look any TV channel, we don't have our voice. So now this is your channel, this is your voice, and you can raise any voice, you can have any idea, and it's called mediacorp.com. You can log in, and you log in Raku, so you can see our daily programming. We have only channel which is broadcast English bulletin daily, Urdu bulletin daily. Okay, so why? Because we want to create awareness. And thank you very much, Mr. Asif Shara sahab. बहुत शुक्रिया आपकी आमद का।
मैं बस सिर्फ एक मशवरा देना चाहता हूँ, मुझे मुफ्त मशवरे देने का बहुत शौक है। मैं समझता हूँ नेक्स्ट प्रोग्राम जो है ना, आप ओवरसीज पाकिस्तानी के वोट के बारे में बात कीजिए। ये भी एक बहुत जरूरी चैप्टर है जिसके लिए हम लोग सब परेशान हैं। खुश हो गए थे कि जी पाकिस्तानी ओवरसीज जो है वो अब वोट दे सकते हैं, और अब वो उसको बंद कर दिया गया, तो उसके बारे में एक प्रोग्राम है, बट दैट्स ऑल।
Yeah, inshallah, my one program is coming on Jonathan Club. You know that Jonathan Club is one of the pride club where Donald Trump and Joe Biden come and give a speech. So on 30th August, we are line up physical discussion on the Pak-US summit, where a lot of congressmen and senator and mayor participating. Inshallah, that is also put together by.
Yeah, I just want to really request everybody on the panel today and Waqar Saab also to plan a day trip to Washington, D.C. and make sure that we have the audience of senators and Congress people to hear our voice and what as we overseas Pakistanis can do in terms of contribution in economy, and also try to make sure we are in the forefront of American politics and geopolitics to bring Pakistan back in limelight. So
yeah, let me tell you, we already planned out a day on the Hill with the senator, congressman, Mr. Masood Ambassador is aware of it. And we're doing first ever inviting the chief of staff of the Washington, D.C. on an all-day event with them to give them education about the Kashmir issue, opportunity in Pakistan, opportunity with America. So chief of staff, those people are the one who written the summary and proposal to the senator and congressmen. So it's a 2 days convention we put in together in Washington, D.C. We already initiated this project in the collaboration of the PAC. Okay. So
Okay.
inshallah, we're coming with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jazakallah.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
God
everybody.
bless. God bless Pakistan. God bless America.
Thank you, Jazakallah. Thank you, everybody. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
सफीर पाकिस्तान आपके जज्बों का तर्जुमान, वतन से दूर वतन की आवाज और आपकी पहचान, सफीर पाकिस्तान सबसे पहले और सबसे आगे.
Safir Pakistan actively works to strengthen the bond between Pakistani Americans across the nation.
Thank you, Safir Pakistan, for continuing to put together a positive image of Pakistan.
अमरीकी सियासत में अहम किरदार, 25 साल नशरियात का लगातार मुसलसल अवामी प्लेटफॉर्म सफीर पाकिस्तान.
I really appreciate Waqar Ali Khan, who carries this process very well indeed.
पल पल की खबरें और कम्युनिटी राब्तों के साथ लगातार उभरते हुए और कामयाब व कामरान लोगों की दास्तान आप तक पहुंचाने में सबसे पहले सबसे आगे.
Putting up a great program, running an excellent platform for bringing like minds together.
Congratulations for putting a great program together, and thank you for connecting so many Pakistanis from all over America to each other.
To get everybody together as a community, we have seen that he works really hard.
And I'm so happy that you chose to start this program of honoring high achievers of our community.
हर जगह हर पल आपका अपना सफीर पाकिस्तान नजर आता है.
Kaba Fusion is a pharmacist-owned, patient-focused team of professionals with over 30 years' experience providing intravenous medication to pediatric and adult patients in the comfort and safety of their own home. Founded by Dr. Sohail Masood, a pioneer in the home infusion industry and recipient of Ernst & Young's Entrepreneur of the Year Award, Kaba Fusion has 28 state-of-the-art compounding pharmacies across the country with service capabilities nationwide. Specializing in IVIG, SCIG, and acute therapies, our highly skilled infusion nurses are present throughout your treatment and our clinicians are on call 24 hours a day. Please visit us at kabafusion.com for more information.